If you follow my videos, you're going to see that I talk about a concept all the time, which is being stuck in a rut, or what I feel I've coined, anyway, the term being in the gray zone. What is the gray zone? The gray zone is not when your life's falling apart on this side, you are falling apart and you feel like I'm probably in a place where I'm really, really ill and I can't function in life. It's not that. But it's also not what you might consider the opposite side of the coin, which is I am flying, I am on the money, I'm performing at my absolute best. Life is a slow flowing and flying for me. You're in the middle. In the middle is the gray zone. It's where you feel off. It's where you feel like you're losing motivation, kind of zest. You feel like you're losing your edge. And you're probably saying things like, there's got to be more to life than this, and you probably don't find enjoyment in the things that you find enjoyment in before. Like I said, motivation dwindles. Mentally, you become a little bit more distracted. Maybe you become less creative, less able to think and focus and adapt. But nothing's broken and you can just tread water there. But it's a place where if you tread water for too long, you end up sliding down to that side of the scale. And we can't keep doing what we've been doing and expect to break out of it. And I see a lot of high performers get stuck there. A lot of ambitious, driven people, 40 plus, who get stuck there. I've been stuck there because life has cycles and seasons. And so how do we navigate out of that? Well, the first thing is first, which is you're not going to think your way out of it. We did an assessment, a free assessment the last 6 to 9 months at the time I recorded him. Thousands of people have done it. I think over 2,500 people have done it. And in that, it's like trying to figure out what your biggest blocker is. And it helps you figure out, where am I most likely stuck? Why am I in the gray zone? And it rates you on strengths and weaknesses and gives you a report. You can get it for free under here, by the way. And the biggest strength most people have is their mindset. It's the most common strength in something like over 80% of cases last time we looked. People are able to think and be positive and stay, but still stuck. The lowest area was skill set, which tells me you can't think your way out of it. You've got to learn the skills to navigate your way out. And so what are those skills is the big question. And for me, there's 3 areas I think that I see that you'll probably relate to, that you commonly get stuck in. And if you can't expand them, you will stay stuck in the gray zone. So the first one is identity. You have to expand your identity, the way you view yourself, because often we get caught up in setting what goals, which is great, to achieve things, of course. But if you find yourself no longer able to be motivated by that, or it doesn't really mean anything, and you feel like you've lost a bit of purpose and direction, it's often because we are now starting to weigh up, who the hell am I? Identity is a who am I thing. Who am I? What do I value? What matters to me? What am I about? Who matters? What do I want to do? How do I want to make a difference? Whatever it is, it's those bigger questions, those intrinsic kind of who questions. How do I want to show up? And those things need refreshing, because as we travel through life, it changes. Our priorities change. What matters change. Our values often change. Our beliefs can change. But have we stopped, looked at it, refreshed them, and went on? Because if you find yourself lacking direction, often it's an identity problem. And if you try and fix it with another random goal, you'll keep peddling that unfulfilled, unmotivated cycle. Don't do that. So is it an identity issue that needs cracking? Think about that. The second thing is you often get an energy problem, in the sense that you now are in a position where you might feel a lack of motivation and enthusiasm and so on, but it's really a system, physically, mentally, emotionally, that you've expended a huge amount to achieve what you've got. And now if we look at energy like fuel, for example, a simple analogy, your life takes 20 miles of fuel to run every day, and you're putting 20 miles in the tank. You're doing that base level, which is brilliant, foundational stuff that's got you to this point. But every day you put in and you spend the same. So you're always breaking even. And you end up feeling like you haven't got the energy, the motivation, the desire to go and move forward. And that's because you haven't got the energy to move forward. You've got the energy to maintain. And often we get stuck in these energy plateaus. In my experience, I've been here, where the way we behave and our habits and routines are enough to maintain where we're at. But they're never going to be enough to break through to what's next for me. And so if you're stuck, maybe it's an energy one. And you've got to think, am I expecting huge growth from maintenance doses? If so, there's a blocker that can be unblocked. And the third one, which is huge, by the way, is time. And I get it. The last 5 years, I've had 3 kids. Businesses have grown. I've experienced loss of a friend, business partner, or loss on multiple scales, actually. And that can lead to a lot of feeling of, I don't have enough time. There's more demands, there's more responsibility on my shoulders, and now there's more demands on my time. But the reality is we never have a time problem. It's never a time problem. It's the quality of energy and focus we bring to our time that determines our success. And so we get caught up trying to find more time. The reality is we need to improve the quality of energy, point 2, and the quality of focus, this point, to that time. And if we've been relying on grit and willpower and determination, which are wonderful things, to get to where we're at, they're going to run out of fuel. And from there, it's how do I stop fighting my mind? How do I start building flow states? That could be a great pivot and shift we make. You probably heard me talk a lot about that on this channel. How can I lean into flow states and get more out of my time? Bring my best level of energy and focus to the time I have. But if I'm just trying to find more time or fight against my calendar, then it's ultimately not a time issue. It's an energy focus issue. Let's look at the three things just quickly. Is it an identity problem in that you don't have direction, not because of a random goal, but because I need to figure out and refresh who I am, what matters, what I value, where I'm going, who matters, what I'm trying to do, and for what reasons in my life? Is it, God, I'm still running off the same old energy habits. I need to improve those. I've got enough energy to maintain, not grow. I need to expand my energy. Or is it shit and how? I'm fighting against time, and that's my big blocker, but it really is, I need to expand and improve the quality of energy and focus I bring to that time. If you do those three things, you can move through the gray zone into your next cycle of, wow, I'm really moving forward. And you can start to feel like yourself. You can win back your time. You can get on top of your energy. You can feel more like yourself. And with that comes living a life, on our terms, the life we want, and one of creation, one that we are navigating purposefully. And that is the magic sweet spot to get to out of the gray zone. But hear me, the gray zone is not a bad thing and it's our fault. Oh my God. It's a natural transition from my experience of life, particularly if you keep making progress and you've been driven, then it's usually a cycle of I'm improving, I'm in the gray zone, But the three things that get you out of it are expanding identity, energy, and time through energy focus flow. So I hope this made sense. Drop something in the comments. Let me know what your biggest takeaway is. Okay, there'll be more videos popping up on the screen now around energy, around flow. Go check those out as I start to break down the three things I spoke about in those videos. Go check the next one out and learn all about how to improve the pillar you need to improve to get out of the gray zone.